Greetings, fellow Inquisitors. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, Inquest of the Dead. Episode 7, Taming a New Inquest Grunt. So as you can see above my head, we are continuing to build the permanent levee, which will hold back the floodwaters, and the perimeter wall. And I'm going to continue that project. I'm going to make a little bit of changes to this project, and I'll explain why. So, to back things up a little bit, Shamblers are a very interesting raider type, if you will, in RimWorld, where they do not really behave like any other type of attacker. They don't behave like manhunting animals, they don't behave like breachers or sappers or regular attackers or anything. So the reason why they're strange is once they get aggravated, once they're aggro, they will prioritize attacking people, but they don't mind chewing on your walls. And because of that, it's very difficult to funnel them. So there was some questions about, can I build like fire traps? And yes, it would hypothetically be possible to build fire traps. There are some issues with that, of course, which is there's not a lot of ignition material. It's going to be very hard to source enough wood or hay grass to actually build meaningful fire traps. But besides that fact, it's also very difficult to corral Shamblers. They just don't want to be corralled. They would rather just break down your walls than follow some sort of funnel trap. So you can't do maze traps. They don't work for them. Funnel traps don't work very well. Kill boxes, honestly, don't work very well. You could surround your entire compound with turrets, but minigun turrets don't stop Shamblers very quickly. Shamblers don't feel pain, so they don't really collapse most of the time. And the Shamblers are more likely to close the distance to a minigun turret and destroy it than it is to be killed by it. And then even if they were killed by it, the corpse will then just resurrect and continue assaulting the minigun turrets. There's not a lot of, what I'm trying to say is there's not a lot of functionally very good ways to automate the Shambler swarms other than to get our hands dirty. There are some things we could try, but generally we'll have to get our hands dirty. Now to that end, one thing I was thinking of, which would be a good idea, is right out here, we have a lot of doors, and these multiple doors is so that there's bottlenecks. Again, Shamblers like to attack your walls, but if you offer yourself up as a target, it will try to follow you. So having doors regularly placed around the perimeter will allow us to sort of like Piper the Shamblers. And one concept I was brainstorming is to design it not exactly like this, but something like this, where you have forced doors that are open, made of granite, allowing the Shamblers to be funneled into a room where you have like a brawler and shooters killing the Shamblers, and then when it comes time to clearing the bodies out, you already have them under a roof inside, so that there isn't like a time pressure to get rid of the corpse. So adding sort of like these weird, I don't know, greeting halls, if you will. I don't know what exactly to call them, but small, you know, pillboxes to the airlocks, I think ultimately would be a pretty good idea. So while we build up the perimeter, I'm going to have that as like perimeter version 2.0. And then there was one other thing I wanted to do for version 2.0 as well, which is, despite the fact that Shamblers are like regularly the threat, we still will get regular raids. And for regular raids, having something like this, where we have an entryway into our base that follows the course of the river, so that would-be human attackers are funneled into the river, are slowed down to 30% speed so they can easily be shot by like defensive positions here, and there's no cover in the river at all, is also a really good like perimeter wall version 2.0 project, if you will. And that will help with manhunting packs, because if we get manhunted by, like, let's say elephants rather than rats, because manhunting pack of rats is about to show up here in like 4 hours. If we get attacked by something big that can easily kill a lot of shamblers, then we're gonna have to deal with like manhunter packs as well. So that's just throwing some ideas out there. All right, so let's continue where we left off. I'm gonna have everyone on close to home zones, and to make sure that nobody strays too far, knowing that the rats are coming. Okay, do not want Flaming Corpse to attack me. No, thank you. Alright, that'll work. So the big push here is to have good mine up a whole lot of steel, bring that steel down, build the bridges, replace some of the wooden bridges, and fortify our colony as well as they can in preparation for bigger and more threatening raids. It's also more than likely that Shot here, the wild man that came in, is gonna move towards our rice because our rice is available for him to eat raw, making it a little bit easier to keep him safe. A little reminder, of course, that like wildmen are classified essentially as like animals. So they can't really be like arrested and recruited in that way. They have to be tamed, which is weird. Another issue that we're going to face sooner or later, and I talked about this a little bit last stream, is that Good here. Oh, wow, that rat just can't catch a break. Good here has armor that is falling apart quite quickly. And I had mentioned that it's possible that the Ancient Danger soldiers will have like recon armor, or she could borrow armor from Sloan. But solving the armor problem is also going to be very important, I think. Because ultimately, our Inquisitors here were deployed to this world, and they don't really have the means to resupply. There's no supply chain or anything like that. All right, so here comes the manhunting pack of rats. They are arriving right where there are shamblers. This is potentially a good way to get a decent amount of rat meat and light leather. So we'll have to keep an eye on how that fight develops. How do you stop your crops from getting blight? You can't. Blight is an inevitability. There are things that you can do to protect yourself from bad blights, like a variety of crops and blight stop gaps and things like that. Basically, blight is it's gonna happen as like a random event, and it will target one crop type. And Devil Strand cannot be blighted. So one thing that you can do, if you're wondering, is grow things like, let's say this is rice, this is Devil Strand, this is, you know, corn, this is Devil Strand, this is rice, this is potato, Devil Strand. And the reason to gap them is blight won't jump more than 3 tiles. So if you have like potatoes here and rice here and Devil Strand in the middle, the blight can't jump from the potatoes to the rice going through the Devil Strand because the Devil Strand is not blightable. So that's one way to like naturally do it. It won't stop blight, but it will limit blight's effect by large crop variety and leaving gaps between plots, or having gaps of Devil Strand between plots. Of course, we don't have Devil Strand research, but like, there is a possibility of that. Yeah, or just grow mushrooms. Okay, it looks like, so here's the word that we have. It looks like the rats overwhelmed the shamblers down here. Only one rat here is fresh. The rest are just instantly rotten. And I could just hole up in the base, but the problem is that wouldn't do... That Shot would get nibbled to death. So I think what we're gonna have to do is like defend shot. Oh, and Aussie the refugee that we helped out just gave us 5 plasteel. Because it's unlikely the rats are going to deviate from this path and like go up here or something like that. What I can try to do is lure them away with good. So I'm going to put all pets and people inside and try to have good like lure them towards other shamblers. There's a few stragglers that have decided not to take the bait. Come on. Wake up, you little biters. And, Shot here is getting bit. So, we did want to recruit Shot, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my shooters outside and try to protect Shot from, getting nibble-deathed. And lucky us, both of those rats came out fresh. Not that one. So the fresh ones are going to be butcherable as long as we move them quickly to a stockpile. And then the rest of these rats up here are going to get swarmed by the shamblers. Oh, let's not kill the rats in the water, though. It will be hard to burn them up. Okay. Only 2 of these rats would be butcherable, it seems, at quick glance, and that's probably not worth killing all those shamblers for. It's not a lot of meat to work ratio, so I'm not going to bother with that. And yeah, Kadath did get nibbled by a potentially scurry rot, but I'm not too worried. I mean, that's a curable thing. Alright, what about Shot? Shot got a hell of a lot of nibbles. So, Sakura... Oh, I can't, maybe if he collapses, I'll tend to him, but I can't intervene. And I'm going to try to clean up the corpses down here before they turn. And this was, as a reminder, we were tasked to kill rats for a jump pack tech print. Which is not a bad reward. And we get that when all the rats are dead. Hey, Shot, just join us, pal. Just do it. I mean, you're like bleeding out, you have food poisoning, you have toxic buildup. Speaking of toxic buildup, let's go ahead and make another gas mask. Because if Shot does join us, he's going to need a gas mask. He's also going to need clothing. So I'm going to also make a hand tailor as well, so that we can clothe him. And then Nabe, I think it's mostly safe for you to be outside again, so go to your sleep box and recover. Alright, that rat's fresh, so I'm going to have to carry that to butchery. But I'll do that in a minute, because I wanted to burn up the rest of them so they don't shamblify. So probably don't have a lot of time for that. How far is the Pollux tree? About half extended. Oh, that's awkward. This corpse is resurrecting while it's on fire. As is this one. Yeah, I was a little late. Oh no, not you. Nope, that rat's not edible now. And that's why it's so important to bring to stockpile ASAP. I just lost out on some food. You know what? In fact, screw this fight. There's very little to be gained from messing with them now. So, I'm out. I was hoping to get food from it, but, you know, they're starting to shamble, so not really worth it. Oh, the blue zone, sorry, I had terrain affordance on. It was just showing me where the waterways were. Okay, Shot is downed. I'm gonna tend to him. Actually, let's carry him inside. He's gonna be safer inside. And then Kadath, I'm gonna also have you make a bed for him, assuming that he chooses to join us when we save his life for, like, the second time. And Kadath, I want you to keep wearing your gun link. Alright, tech prints have arrived, and Slun will apply them. I do have some shambles that are, like, messing with my walls. Alright, now he's rescued, and I'm tending it to him with, like, proper medicine. Okay, good. I want you down here, helping with these guys. You still have your speed boost, so you'll be there in a second or two. I'm not too fond of, like, flaming corpses attacking me. At least I'm not afraid of fire. That'd be one funny way to deal with the blood feeders. Is set a few shamblers on fire and just have the shamblers, like, shamble over to the single phages. Like, ha ha ha, you're scared of this! Cause, yeah, of course they'd be. I, like, low-key don't blame them. What are you doing to this poor zombie? No arms, no legs, no ear. No torso. Uber nugget. Alright, I think all of the... So I'm guessing this one just burned to death? Yeah, it just burned down. When it rezzed. Now there's a lot of steel around. There's steel here, there's steel here, there's components, steel, steel, steel. So I'm not too worried about running out of steel. I went for this steel just because it was in, like, nicer zones. And Shot has joined. Sweet. Well, you know what that means. Giveaway timer's up. Or raffle timer. Hey, that's not where it's supposed to be. Because I moved myself, didn't I? Let me fix that. Just ignore the vote timer. Good enough. So the idea that I had for Shot was that Shot would potentially become a brawler. With a burning passion melee. Makes sense, I think. On this, we are going to go for a pants and shirt for him. So I'm going to have Kadath start tailoring that. And Kadath did get Skoria. Okay. Well, I'll still do the shirts and pants first. I can hit Kadath with the Words of Immunity. So that's actually what I'm going to work towards. Sakura, let's have you meditate for today. Bangface and Emily, thank you for the resubs. And Cardinal too. Or you? I never burnt you. I really need to wall up the, like, corpse hole at some point. We're good. So Gadath's working on a pair of shirt and pants for Shot, because Shot doesn't have any. He was a wild man. And he is got some toxic buildup, but now that he has a gas mask, that should be brought down to a much lower level. So he is, he's nice and clothed now. Cheers. All right, Kadath, I'm going to have you bed rest. And let's do Shot's priorities. I'm going to have him help with construction. He's not a very good constructor, though. He could eventually help with research. And Kadath, I'm going to tend you with industrial meds, at least on first tending. And then I'm going to hit you with a preach health. So here he is, burning passion in melee, art, intellectual, and gourmand. What's funny about gourmand is gourmand gives you a +4 cooking, and he has a 4 skill of cooking. So he basically rolled with a cooking of 0. Dude loves to eat, has no idea how to cook. Alright, 22 approaching. Numbers are definitely getting bigger. All more reason to prepare better perimeter defenses, I think. And Nabe looks fine. The plague is very recoverable. I think I'm going to have Shot be on a different sleep schedule than the rest of them. Not that he's a night owl. And the advantage is I'll have more people covering the research table more frequently, which I think is a good thing. However, he's not going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's not going to have a whole lot of friends if he doesn't interact with them on a daily basis. All right, raffle timer. You are Sun Tzu. Congrats. And Scorpio, thank you for all the gifted subs, and Cosmic for the gifted sub as well. Okay, this raid, a Prepare While raid. What do you... I don't really need to worry about them. They're gonna blow each other up at this rate. This is quite amusing for me to see. Oh, Speedy is Speedy. No, you're not. They're gonna run into this horde, or this horde. I'm, like, not gonna worry about fighting this raid at all. It is a problem, and it will find a solution without me. I do like how they just showed up with, like, 4 frag grenades, 3 Molotovs, and 1 SMG. They know what's up. Explosion. I do have to be a little worried about this group here because it's encroaching on the steel mining zone, so I might need to move where I mine steel. I'll have to keep an eye on that. So let's witness them. You can't really throw grenades on each other when you're stuck in melee. I mean, you can, but y'all kill each other really good. Oh, you're fleeing? I wouldn't... I'm somehow not surprised. Oh, look, you have a field hand. Holy hell. What are you harvesting here in the dead world? I'm honestly very curious. What on earth are you harvesting? Witchwood? Well, nothing now. You're just dying, but interesting. All right, Sun Tzu, that's your bed. Kadaths, scree infections, fine. We'll just tend it again. I was hoping to, I didn't need to use real meds. I was hoping to get my side focus up high enough for words of immunity, but honestly, I don't even think we need them. You're fine. Well, I'll hit it with you anyway. And you gained a Psycaster level. So, I'm going to give you invisibility. I think that works. Nabe's no longer plagued. Cool. And we're still working on the perimeter wall. I know I haven't had a new priority in a while, but been a little busy. Hard to make that kind of progress quickly. So we're getting a whole lot of psychoid if we want to make tea. We don't have the research for it yet. But that's definitely some research we can get in the near future. Can you loot the pirates? It's allowed. I would have to fight 45 shamblers to do it. And that's not worth the effort. So it's not that I can't, it's that I shouldn't. Is Sun Tzu area restricted? Not yet. He is now. Okay, so his toxic buildup is now decreasing, especially given that he's a researcher. He's just going to be chilling here at home. And Kadath's already immune. Oh my god, that was fast. It was worth that that blessing. Just to get Kadath back that quickly. So we're almost done with all the perimeter stuff. Sun Tzu doesn't yet have a weapon. I guess I'll give you this poor steel axe for now. And then Rascal doesn't have a weapon either. The thinking was once we got multi-analyzer, maybe I like research SMGs or something like that. But we'll get there when we get there. Now, this group is definitely coming in on the walls. Has me a bit concerned. Because they're just outside of aggro range. They're going to get pissed soon. So probably going to have to go kill them. Contract laborers. How many? 2 colonists for 13... For 17, rather, days? I don't think so. Okay. We're out of time. The horde approaches. Actually, before you shoot them, go position yourself up here so that we can torch their corpses, because if we lure them to our crops, it's going to be harder to burn them up. Alright, good. Drop a pinhole. Come on, Shambles. And at least these two groups kind of like split from one another. Long fights like this one, you probably have to start burning the corpses even before the fight's over. Otherwise, they're just going to come back. That's one of the other challenges of the permanent death pall. Is you're going to need to do corpse management throughout the fight. Unless it's like a walled-in area, as I said before. Alright. Kadath, Sloan, you are dismissed. Don't beat that fire out. That fire's fine. Now, the ones that are downed could be captured and put into containment cells. But we don't have any of those just yet. I think that is all the corpses that we had to deal with. Nice. So there's still a whole lot of mess over there, but it's not a mess that threatens me at the moment. Alright, good. Your armor is at 22%. So 1 or 2 more major fights and her armor is toast. It's worth keeping that in mind, because once her armor is toast, she's going to be in real danger of getting shredded by Shambles. They hauled 1 to the corpse dock. Good eye, good catch. So for the perimeter project, the permanent levee is now done. This wall is just for aesthetics. So build a perimeter wall is what we're currently working on. I'm going to have you guys vote on what the next project is. So here are some choices. We could build a sanctuary, we could build bedrooms, we could build a crafting room, or we could build improved corpse management. It'd be 5 minutes to vote on this. Okay, Shamblers. We've got 20 coming in from the south. So they'll arrive here. Got it. There isn't any weapon that I can give. No, there really isn't. Okay. Let's get a move on. Our labors are never finished. So you've got Psychic Agility, Blade Focus, Blade Friendly, Psychic Rush, and let's give you Focus. I'm going to try to lure them away from everyone else. Alright, so I focus gain. Just another standard upgrade. We can stand on the shoreline, that's probably good. I don't really want them to die in the river, because then we have to haul the bodies. Do you still focus? Yeah, for 2 hours? Okay, good. Alright, I think this is the only body that needs hauling. And... oh. Finish you off too. Sakura, our healer, will do the prayer ceremony. The burial. Don't worry, I've noticed that one. And it looks like corpse management improvements are going to be voted on. But there's still time to vote if you haven't yet. 26! Okay. Actually, you know what? Be a patient. This is a good way for Sloan to get more med ability, or Rascal. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. You can see this is like the time limit. Oh, you just like Shamble died? Okay, that works. You tried to come back and it didn't work. I love it. Now, if you're wondering why that happened, there's like a Shambler recycling mechanic at play, so that I think it's mostly so that your CPU doesn't seize when there's a lot of Shamblers. So Shamblers have like a time to live, and then once they're out of time, they just die. So what ended up happening there was that Shambler had that timer probably trigger while it was trying to resurrect and died again. Because Shamblers only last for a finite amount of time until they die, but then they're brought back by dead life. Nature's recycling. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Inquest of the Dead, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Inquisitors.